In May of 1942, Mits Yamamoto was 16, on the verge of becoming a young man. With little notice, his family was forced to store all their belongings, many never to be seen again. They were placed on trains, not knowing where they were going.
But close your eyes and think about it. For 4 days, 4 nights, window shades down. At nighttime, old man snoring, the kids crying. One bathroom. Just think about it.
I can't imagine going away like that and wondering if you're ever going to be alive again. You know, then when you get to the final actual internment camp, you got these guard towers with these machine guns. You know, you don't even know if you're ever going to go back.
It was a lonesome feeling, not knowing if this is for a year or a month or forever.
A date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
120,000 persons of Japanese ancestry were transported to an assembly center where they lived for months, eventually being transferred to one of 10 relocation centers.
My name is Mits Yamamoto. I'm from Sacramento, California.
I'm Jenny Syfax. I'm a Sansei. I'm his third child.
I was born in 1926. I was raised in Elk Grove, which is the outskirts of Sacramento. This happened, and we got on a train going to destination unknown, really, and this was it. It was Jerome, Arkansas.
Despite the uncertainty, Mits adapted quickly to life in Jerome. Like any teenager, he enjoyed hanging out with his friends.
Everybody talks about camp and how bad it was, and it was. I mean, I'm not saying it was good, but I thought my experience was a lot different than other people. It sounds like I enjoyed everything, which was true in a way because I enjoyed what I did.
With labor shortages across the nation, job opportunities arose outside of the camps. Some incarcerees participated in the work release program in order to provide more money for their families. Mits chose to explore the world outside of camp and his small town experiences.
There was an opening for 2 kitchen helpers. I was 17 at the time, and I said, I don't know. I said, can I ask my mom? My mom says, go ahead, and that surprised the heck out of me. Now I'm scared to go. I want to go.
Every year, Mits went out on seasonal leave. He and his friends enjoyed the bustling city of Chicago, hanging out at the Florida beaches and taking trips into New York City to see Frank Sinatra perform. Quite the change for these boys from Elk Grove. But it wasn't always fun, as there were marked differences outside of camp.
During them days, everything was trained, and we with enemy face. It wasn't scary, but it wasn't the happiest moment of our life. One of the incidents happened there where a guy who was pretty well drunk, he picked one of the guys, grabbed him by the neck and said, I can guess your nationality. We were hollering from, hey, we're gonna miss our train. He said, well, as long as you're not a Jap, and that kind of, it didn't make us feel too good.
Japanese Americans were supposed to be free to live and work east of the exclusion zone. Mits discovered this didn't mean they were free from harassment by the authorities.
When we got to Tampa, we had a little layoff, so we figured we'd go out and see what's going on, Well, it's just I think we took about 3 steps out of the station there, and 2 guys with a black hat, black suit, flipped on and says, FBI, let me see your ID. And here, we're 17 years old and we're looking, we search all over our body and look and says, finally we looked at each other and said, we left in such a hurry that they forgot to give it to us. But this is all we have, and we showed him the letter. He read it. He said, okay, you guys, I'll let you go. But he says, when you get where you're going, he says, go get an ID because this is the last time.
Even when he was away from his friends and family, Mits drew strength from the connection to his community.
In camp, you're more or less among friends. If you don't know them, they're all of the same race. There really is no fear when you're outside. Why you kind of stay more alert. I think you're more aware of whatever is happening around you.
Mits returned to Jerome for the last time as it was shutting down. While his parents were being relocated to Gila River, he found himself, like so many others, unsure of his future.
When I came back, I was in one of the empty barracks, close to the hospital. At that time, a bunch of kids were running and yelling and screaming and didn't know what it was, so I followed them to see what was going on. There was a big barn between the barracks and the hospital, and they were all going over there, so I ran over there too, and when I got to the gate, the barn, I looked in and the smell was terrible. Oh, there was a guy hanging there. That memory is still with me.
Mits finally took permanent leave and moved to Chicago, but shortly after returned to escort his parents to Elk Grove, California. He remained there to take care of his aging father. Despite all the experiences Mits endured both inside and outside of the camp, he never lost his optimism and positivity.
We never, ever felt like we were deprived of anything. Not knowing when we were growing up that they went through that, I think I would have been a totally different child, because you appreciate them more. It's bottom line, you appreciate them more. The things they went through, it's kind of like, the people that say, oh yeah, when I had to go to school, I had to, walk 7 miles in the snow. They actually had to do that. Really, if you think about it, they really actually had to do that in a different way. And they made our lives a whole lot easier. And that is something that we can never repay them for that.